Good morning, Flosstube. I'm Tanya the Starlit Stitcher, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. Oh, we're going to have so much fun today. I got a lot done last week, so we're going to be talking about that. And I have a weird story for you at the end as to why my social media presence was like over the last week. But we're also going to be talking about my plans heading into May. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start with Teresa Kogut's Land That I Love. That's where it'll be when it's done. And here it is. It's almost too tall for me to get it to fit good on the screen for you guys. But so yeah, I did all these strawberries here. I think I only had like 2 of them done last week when you last saw this, and then this flower here. So I brought down the border some more and did the rest of them strawberries. And yeah, I've got the roof and 2 windows done on the big giant house. And also what I did this week is I did go back and I ripped this out and I put it back in. I was okay with the mistake that I had made. I believe it was 1 stitch too far to the right from where it should have been at, because I boo-boo like that all the time. And I was fine with it. I was going to leave it. But then I went to go and do this one, and I put this one in, and I could totally tell that it wasn't matchy-matchy, liney-uppy. And so then my decisions became more about, do I want to leave it in still and be bugged forever about it when it's up on my wall, or do I just want to suck it up and do it again? So given those choices, I decided to suck it up and do it again. So this is now in the right spot. And there we go. Now I decided to go downwise like this on this pattern. Oops, I'm holding it upside down. Sorry, that's not very helpful. Going down in this ways, because I normally would be going across this ways, but I'm going down on this one because if you noticed, all across the bottom is big giant houses. And so going down this a ways and then here and then here, that's my strategy to kind of break up the big giant houses. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that. Okay, so next up, okay, that was way louder than I thought it was going to be. Sorry if you were wearing earphones. Okay, I did pretty well on pandemic this week too. Now April has been a bit off for me on this because we've had like 80% either it's raining or we've got a lot of cloud cover going on. But I did pretty good on this week. So let me show you where that is at. I did not take it out of the Q-snap, but here it is. I'm going to borrow this and put it behind me for you. Here's where it's at. Okay, so this week, pretty much everything from this a ways on, that is what I did. So like I think I had the owl last week, and then maybe parts of this flower, something like that. No, maybe I didn't have this owl. I think I had this owl, but I had like this partially done. But basically from here this ways, that is what got done in this last week. So I'm pretty close to a finish on page 9. I've just got this corner here. And this corner is a lot easier than what I did up here in regards to like, flipping back and forth between pages. So I don't think that will be too bad. And today is sunny, so I might actually get to finish that page today. We'll see. That's why I left it in the Q-snap, so I don't have to like, rush to get it back on there. But there is where it's at. So let me put that away. And I might need to borrow this again. Okay, and then so lastly, there was a unicorn poop for sale. I know you guys love this one. Well, at least all the full coverage fanatic people that watch my videos. Okay, so this is a Heaven and Earth design by Sheena Pike. And there it is. And let me show you where it got. Here it is. If I can hold it in the right spot. That seems to be a theme today. So there we go. I finished this page down here in the corner. And I got a pretty good start on the next page up here. So there we go. I cleaned up the ends of my threads because I won't be back to this page for a bit. And I park, but I don't like to get too crazy with it. So yeah. But there we go. I'm really liking how this is going. So we can put that away, and now I can put this board away too. Okay, oh, one more. I forgot I had started this one. This one I had started like a day or two before my last video. This is a Maydear kit. It's just called Unicorn, but there is the number on it there. And it's 11 count, and I'm stitching it with 4 threads. And here is where it's at. So I have the unicorn's head all done, and most of the back stitch, like I didn't do like around the edges where it's going to be touching this other stuff, but for the most part the unicorn's head is done. And I have the little birdie down here in the corner done too, and I got a start on this little dragon up here. He looks kind of weird right now because that's just the nature of the beast, because I only work on this in the evenings when I can't see that good and my eyeballs are tired. So that's why I stitch easy stuff like this. But this one is going to be getting turned into a pillow for one of my 3 nieces that I'll be stitching a pillow for Christmas this year. And I think that's going pretty well so far. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm going to be doing for May. Well, first, I lied. Let's talk about what I did in April. Okay, so here's the list. I know you guys love the list. Well, I do. I don't know if anybody else does, but okay, so for April, I had 2 finishes. I finished my American Deer, which was a different 11 count kit that I was working on, except for it was bigger and it was full coverage. I finished that in April, so that got done. And my other finish was my Slava Ukraini piece. That's by Long Dog Samplers, and I finished that into a little pillow. And so those were my finishes for April. And then, okay, so let me explain the list for those who are new here. This is my super fancy technical list of projects that I would like to have done in 2022. None of these, well, okay, so at the beginning of the year, the only one that was started was American Deer. All of the rest, they had not been started yet. And so these are all start to finish completion. That was the goalpost that I made for myself at the beginning of this year, because that's the kind of crazy thing that I do. We're gonna see how many of them I can actually get done. Which, I don't know, I'm actually feeling a little bit better about this list now than I did starting into April, because I just figured out that Land That I Love is actually my 3rd biggest piece outside of Unicorn Poop for sale. I thought that CD Pumpkin Cottage is bigger, but Land That I Love is bigger. And that's a pretty good chunk on it. I did everything that you see on my Land That I Love. That all got done here in April. So that's making awesome progress. I'm really excited about that. And Pandemic, that's probably my #1 biggest piece. If I can get a couple of good sunny days here this week, I might have it halfway done the next time you guys see it. we'll see. You know how that's been going. But so that's not too shabby either. The only thing that's been holding me back on that is because I did decide to do it on a dark fabric. The stitching itself is very easy, so when I have enough light, it goes pretty quick. So I'm feeling really good about it. I just having a little bit more difficulties with it than anticipated because of the dark fabric choice that I made. So okay, so otherwise, Nutcracker Village, that of course is caught up. I have all of the blocks done that have been released so far. The candy shop piece just came out. I have it ordered. It will not ship until this coming Friday, the 29th. And so I probably won't get that until maybe late next week. And so when that comes, I'll do it. Flea market baskets, that's going on schedule as well, and I'll be knocking out the next section of that in the course of the next week. And so those are going very well. Unicorn poop for sale. My goal for the year on that one is to have 20% done, because I think it's got around 260,000 stitches in it, maybe a little bit more. And so my goal for the year is around about 20%, which I figured out is going to be around 12 or so pages on that. And so to keep up with that, I need to have done roughly a page a month, which I've been doing pretty well on that. Yeah. So yeah, I have a little bit more than 4 pages done now, I think. Let me grab that out and take another look, because I don't remember. And of course I didn't take it off the Q-snap this week, so that wasn't very helpful. But I do know that this is page 3, this is page 2, and then page 1 is over here. Those 3 are all complete, and I've got a large chunk down over on page 9, plus some other various chunks that will add up to about 4 pages. And we're not at the end of April yet. We've still got another few days. And so this is actually still tracking ahead of where it needs to be for my goal on the year on that. And other than that, so let's see here. I'm kind of winging it here, like I do every week, because if I sit there and think about what I'm actually doing, my videos will never get up. Okay, so let's talk about what these actually are, because right now you can only just see the names on them. Sunflower House, that's by Teresa Kogut. It's super cute. Christmas Rules and Halloween Rules, those are both by Lizzie Kate. Those should get done pretty quick when I go to do them, because they're not that big. Words to Live By, that is by the series by Tiny Modernist. It's got 13 pieces, I think. One Nation by Bygone Stitches. That one I'm really looking forward to doing. Right now, it's kind of on the back border because I did stitch it last year. This year will be the second time that I stitch it. I'll be doing it with a different fabric and different flosses. Okay, Oh Holy Night Nativity, that is by Stony Creek, I believe. I'm doing that on a navy fabric. I'd like to start that in July, for Christmas in July. But I need to have Pandemic done first before starting this, because I don't think it's a very good idea for me to have 2 dark fabrics going at the same time. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where things are going by the time we get to July. Consider the Lilies. After Pandemic is done, that will be my next biggest piece. And compared to Pandemic, I think that that will go really well, because I'm doing that on a cream color fabric. It'll be much lighter, and I won't have the same limitations in being able to see it as I am with Pandemic. But even if it is as slow for me to stitch it as Pandemic, I think I'm still looking pretty good at being able to get that done, plus some other things this year. Seedy Pumpkin Cottage, that's by Praiseworthy Stitches. That's also a darker fabric one, so we're gonna see how that goes. This is a pretty ambitious list. But we're gonna see just how many I can get done. This last one here is the Little Sheep Virtues. I do have all 12 of them with the buttons and everything. I have not picked out my flosses for it, but it's going on a lavender Lugana. And my flosses are going to be pulled from leftover kit flosses because I think that it will be cute, and I have those leftover flosses, and it will be something good to put them in. So that's, yeah. But those are what I plan to try and get done this year. And like I said, I do feel better about actually getting more of this done than what I was kind of thinking last month. Because last month, when we were summarizing up March, I was kind of thinking to myself, I might have to axe off like 2 projects. Right now, I'm kind of thinking that something might still have to get axed, but I don't think as many as what I was thinking last time. So I was like, I don't know. May's kind of a long month. There's 31 days in May, I think, when I was looking yesterday. I could be wrong. It could only be 30, but still, that's kind of a long month. So we could make up some stitchy time in there, except for at the same time, I am planning a road trip in June because I get my daughter for the summer on June 9th. And so I will be driving out there to California to get her and bring her back. So what I like to do is I like to make that drive earlier, and then I'll be there for a few days and visiting with family and stuff while I'm there getting her, and then I'll get her, and then I'll make the drive back. And on my way back, I'll be pit stopping in New Mexico and probably visiting with my mom for a couple of days because I'm driving right through there. So, and she's only like a half hour. No, not even that. More like only like 10 minutes off of the 40. So I'll be pit stopping and seeing her. As of right now, I am planning on keeping up with my videos while I'm on that trip, but I cannot drive and stitch at the same time. Like I can be multi-talented in some ways, but that's not one of them. So my stitching that gets done in June is going to be down for that reason. But I will still have some things to show you. It's just my videos may be a little bit on the shorter side, and that will be why. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that that's what my plans are coming up. And as far as Mania, okay, so I talked about my list and everything on it, but I didn't actually tell you my Mania plans yet. Okay, so far this year, unicorn poop for sale. I've only been working on this for 1 day a week to meet that goal. For May, my plan is going to be unicorn poop for sale is going to be my focus projects. It will be getting at least 5 days a week instead of the usual 1. The goal being, what did I do? Okay, here it is. Because I would like to get through as much of that sky as possible in as short of a time as possible. Because ain't nobody want to be looking at just plain sky for the next 6 months. I don't think you guys do, and I don't really want to either. So that is what May is going to be about, is getting as much of that done as I can and heading back over here and seeing what happens. Other than that, I will be juggling around my other projects, and I also have a couple of smalls planned. One of them, I don't have the chart to show you guys yet because I ordered it last week and it's not here yet. It's a book called Encyclopedia of Puppies. I ordered that because it's got a Shar-Pei puppy in it. And I think that is small enough to be like ornament size. And so my plan is to stitch that and turn it into an ornament, and that will be my mom's birthday gift when I pit stop there in New Mexico on my way back from getting my daughter. The reason being is because she has bred Shar-Pei for the last 30 years. She's a 30-year breeder of them. I actually have two of them. I have a black female and I have a fawn male. Now, they're both spayed and neutered because mine are just pets. They're not for breeding or showing. But So yeah, I think that she will really like that. It's really difficult to find Shar-Pei stuff that actually looks like the dogs that she has, because hers are, how'd you call it? The old style lineage, the old style Shar-Pei, where the hair's not as long, and when you touch them, it's kind of coarse, and if you're not used to it, it can give you like a rash until you've been exposed to it enough, and like, you know, I'll have to post a couple of pictures of my dogs on Instagram, because to those that don't know the breed, it doesn't make any sense, but most of the styles of Shar-Pei that people will think, they'll think big, really over wrinkly, a little bit on the fluffy side, basically kind of like a less hairy Chow Chow, but that's not what my mom's kennel line looks like. I mean, she has a very distinct appearance on hers. I mean, yeah. But I grew up with them. I love them, and so I had to have them whenever I grew up, and now I have kids of my own, and now I have some of her doggy kids too. But anyhow, so that's my plan, is I'm going to be stitching that little thing during May, and that will be her birthday gift. And if it is a small little ornament, then I'm also going to figure out different colors for it, because I'd like to do her a cream, a red, a black, and a fawn. So 4 different colors, and then she'll have a set of 4 for her Christmas tree, but I'll do like the other 3 as her Christmas gift to go with the first one for her birthday. And then other than that, I do still have plans to do Bloom Where You're Planted, so this will be coming out. I might start this week, but I don't know. If the sun is bright and shiny, I need to take advantage of that and put that time into pandemic. But if it gets to be a dark and dreary day again, this is coming out and I'm starting it, okay? That's the plan. I'm going to be stitching it on the called for fabric, which is a 32 count light Jobelin even weave. And I just pulled leftover fancy flosses from out of my stash to stitch this. I changed the red to a purple, and that's what I'll be doing on it. I think it's going to be super cute. I already have a frame ready to go for it, so I can get it framed up right away when I get it done, because I don't know, that might be like 3 days stitching for me, maybe, with full days. And then Land That I Love, that will still be getting consistent stitching on it throughout May. I'm going to have that as my morning stitch. That's where most of my stitching on it is coming from right now. Is I'm up between 4 and 6 every morning, weekday or weekend. And so based on what time that I wake up, that's how much stitchy time interrupted that I have in the morning that I've been working on that. And so if I'm up at 4, that gives me 2.5 hours of stitchy time before I need to wake up the little and get her ready for school and get her off to school. If I sleep in until 6, I get a half hour. So, you know, it's kind of hit and miss on how much gets done on it every day, but it's making really good progress. So, you know, that's how I'll keep that going. And then on my days that I'm not working on unicorn poop for sale, I will try to keep up progress on pandemic. If I see a sunny day, it's like, okay, pandemic is coming out. At least a day or 2 every week. If I see those sunny days happen, which hopefully they will, because yesterday was nice and sunny. Today is going to be nice and sunny again too. So hey, we got a streak here. That hasn't happened for like a month. So maybe that's a good sign. Weird story of the week. So some of you may have noticed that my Instagram was not very active this week. What happened was my phone went through another life. I was telling you guys last week that it's iPhone 6, so I've had it for a really long time. What happened was, so we had that giant storm last Wednesday, That's how come I was kind of late filming and uploading last week. So you got your video on Thursday instead of the usual Wednesday. And I noticed that my phone, like when I was trying to use like the sound buttons and it was like not working. I was like, why sound worky? And the rubbery part of my OtterBox was like not sitting right on it. I was like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know why it's doing that, but it'll fix itself. It's like, no, it will not. Okay, so Thursday I filmed and uploaded my video. I did that, and then I was still having these weird issues with it not like sitting right when I go to sit it down and watch or use my sound buttons like I said. And so Saturday comes around and I decide to take a closer inspection because it was driving me nuts. Like when I hit the sound button, I would like it to actually work. You know what I mean? That was just... So yeah. So I started taking apart my OtterBox and the screen from my phone looked like this. It was bending out. And I was like, that cannot be good. I was like, I guess I was lucky that my phone screen didn't crack, but so yeah, I was like, so we undid the screws here, which by the way, I do not recommend doing if you have no idea what you're doing. If you have one of those newer, really expensive phones, definitely don't do it. Take it into a shop and have any kind of repair done. We open our phones for battery purposes because our phones are just really old and they're not under warranty anyways. But anyhow, whenever we undid the screws, my screen basically went like it popped open like a jack-in-the-box because that's how much pressure there was on the inside of it. And so we was looking at the battery, we're like, that's a really swollen battery. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is not being turned back on. It's not being plugged back in. This is going to a repair shop immediately because I don't really know how to like handle a battery that's got that problem, and I don't really want to accidentally make a puncture on it and then the battery acid goes everywhere. And then I was like, yeah. So I did not have a phone for like 4 days in this last week. So I'm really far behind on my Flosstube. I haven't even watched Pam and Steph yet. So I'm going to be turning them on after my video is done uploading today because, yeah. So that's my weird story of the week. My phone's all good now. Again, it's got a new battery in it. Which, by the way, they do not make iPhone 6, or should I say, Apple does not make batteries for the iPhone 6 anymore. So you're basically stuck with getting an off-brand battery. But I will tell you that the original battery for this phone lasted like 7 years. So if you still have an original battery, you should be good for quite a while. But yeah, we'll see how long this battery lasts. I replaced the battery the first time about a year ago is when I got the first off-brand one, and apparently it did not survive very well after having some power surges here in the camper. So I don't know if that's really what caused it or if off-brand is just kind of, you know, another one of those it is what it is kind of things. But for now, the phone is good and we're back in business. Okay, so that is everything for this week. Stay tuned for next Wednesday when I'll be back and I'll let you know how I did. All right, have a great stitching week. I'm planning to myself, so bye.